Hey everyone, we are coming at you today. We are interviewing Silverbelly Whiskey today. We're going to enjoy and invite Robbie from Silverbelly to join us here in just a second. We'll get everyone in. Hopefully, kicked off a little bit of whiskey for the week, which is just the way to start a week. Here we go. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing good. Where are you calling in from today?
Nashville, Tennessee, country music and Silverbelly Whiskey headquarters.
Now, Silverbelly and country music are hand in hand, right?
Correct, yeah. So we are Alan Jackson's whiskey company, and the brainchild of the legend himself.
Well, nice. All right. Well, let's jump into that. So, my favorite question is always we've all sat around saying, "Hey, man, we should create our own whiskey company someday," but it never goes anywhere. So, obviously, you guys had that conversation. It went from discussion to getting live. So, tell us the origin story. Tell us where it came from.
Yeah, so Alan wanted a whiskey before he retired. He's always drank whiskey. He's a big Jack Daniels guy, as he was throughout his career. And back in about 2021, I was approached by his team with some ideas, and they had a couple of deals in the place that weren't working out. So I was lucky enough to get to kind of take on the challenge. And when we started, it was kind of fun. There was really three rules for the brand. One, had to be called Silverbelly. That was the color of his iconic cowboy hat. So
Okay.
he wears a Silverbelly Stetson. It's the most famous cowboy hat of all time. Um, Two is that it has to say whiskey on the label, even though technically we are a straight bourbon whiskey. Because he grew up drinking whiskey. That was the other non-negotiables. Has to have whiskey on the label. And then three, which is my favorite, is that he wanted to be affordable for his blue collar fans. So we don't launch a whiskey that's over $100, which is kind of different than a lot of young whiskey brands out there. So those are kind of our three, guiding lights.
Those are great rules. I feel like it really speaks to being a man of the people and knowing his audience and knowing what they want.
Yeah, I mean, Alan's an icon. He's one of the top country music artists of all time. Over 60 million albums sold. He's pretty much in every Hall of Fame there is. And as we wrap up his career and he gets done touring, he has one major show left next summer in Nashville, and then he's gonna hang his hat on the live touring part of his
Wow.
career. And as we do that, we want Silverbelly to be a way that can just continue his legacy.
Very cool. So talk about being so in tune with his fan base. What is Alan's involvement with the distillation process and the tasting? How does he tune the whiskey to meet his audience?
Yeah, so I mean, it is a true, it's probably the number one question we get is like, is it just another celebrity whiskey that they slap his name on it? But no, it's a true family deal. So Alan is the founder of the company. Everything is distilled for him. He is obviously not the actual distiller, but he approves all the tastes. We go to him with all of our different new releases and make sure we get a stamp of approval on everything. And he does the typical, like, literally drinks it over dinner with the family. And then this year we have an exciting addition is that his daughter, Maddie Jackson,
Oh, wow.
his eldest daughter is our master blender. So she was a sommelier after college. She worked in Napa. She did some time in Italy. She ran her own wine store. And then that kind of transitioned. And this last fall and winter, she jumped in the company and she's with us officially as our master blender. And she has an insane palate. So between him and her, I mean, it is a full family deal.
That's pretty amazing. So how did you find your way to this company?
Yeah, for me, just happenstance. It's just a perfect storm. I like to call it. I was doing some marketing for Alan for his last album.
Yeah.
Helped with it. Helped when he had a bar. He has a bar on Broadway that the family's involved with. So helped doing the marketing of that. But my background is marketing, social media, and just happened to be a whiskey connoisseur.
Got it. So having been with him for so long, what is your favorite Alan Jackson track?
Oh my gosh. I think for sentimental reasons, my favorite song is Drive. Yeah.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I, I lost my father coming up on 8 years ago, and just for me, that song it just hits those emotional strings, and like I've been lucky enough to be at now 24 shows with him because I travel with him as well in the concert series that we present. And every time Drive plays, it always gets me right in the gut.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
So we know, all being in the whiskey space, whiskey's a crowded space, man. You know, those shelves are ever more crowded every single day. What makes Silverbelly stand out? Why should people go for that and find it on the shelf?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's a sleeper. It's one of the best Tennessee whiskeys ever made. So we are made at a private distillery in Columbia, Tennessee, 45 minutes south of Nashville. It is a 100% local brand, and this is some of the best bourbon whiskey that's ever been made in the state of Tennessee. So like when you normally walk into a store, and nothing against those guys, but if 80% of your selection is MGP or one of the big five from Kentucky, we are truly different. Where we are there's probably only a couple labels on that shelf that are made in Tennessee, and we differentiate ourselves that way. If you want some of the best ever made Tennessee bourbon whiskey, you obviously have the big guys like Jack Daniels, but we have some amazing juice that we're really proud of, and I think it stands on its own against the big guys.
Now, I think the story of what makes Tennessee whiskey unique is interesting. Would you share with the audience real fast, like the 30-second pitch, what makes a Tennessee whiskey different from bourbon?
Yeah, so technically, by federal standpoint, it's all bourbon. It
Right.
all is the same, right? But we use a Lincoln County process, which means essentially we filter it through charcoal to remove some of the impurities, make it a lot more smooth. That's kind of where you get that. You kind of take some of the edge off. And different Tennessee companies use different levels of depth of charcoal and how much
Okay.
it's filtered through. So we're just a very thin layer of charcoal just to kind of one adhere to the Lincoln County process, but also just create a little differentiator. So what you get on our side of that is just a nice smoothness. Even with our small batch, which is a 4 year old whiskey, which we're going to get into, just creates a nice subtle smoothness. Some people say a little brown sugar notes.
Okay.
But that is what differentiates Tennessee from for say a Kentucky or Texas bourbon.
The charcoal tends to strip away some like the oily nature, right? So it tends to have a very clean, almost like a quick taste on the palate, right? It kind of gets you more a little faster, right?
Yeah, they call it the charcoal mellowing because it mellows the
Mellow.
process
Okay.
out. But yeah, that's essentially what it how it reacts to it.
Yeah. All right. So you guys have been in business for how long now?
We started at launched in 2022. We
Okay.
had a 1 year stint with Allen's 2022 tour in the U.S. We actually our original product was a Kentucky product, and we kind of did a nice trial run of like, hey, is this something a route we want to go down? Does it work? Our original juice was Green River juice out of Owensboro,
Sure.
Kentucky, which we still have some in the warehouse back there, and it's gonna see what we do some fun stuff with in the future when it gets a little older. But rolled out with that, took a year off after that, and then relaunched our new products with a completely local product early last summer. So we just passed our 1 year birthday of kind of the Tennessee side of our company, and now it's off to the races.
Nice. Well, walk us through the portfolio. We got two here today, but talk us through what you got here and how you guys built that lineup.
Yeah, so we essentially have two core products right now, and we'll come out with some more fun stuff coming out soon. But the main product we have is a 4 year small batch. So that is a 91 proof, just a very traditional everyday sipper, great for mixing cocktails. You can still enjoy it neat. And the kind of fun thing that we do on this is on the label here is every batch we do is a new number one song of Allen's. So
Okay.
he's got 35 number one songs. So every batch we do, a batch is anywhere between 1,500 and 2,500 cases. Every batch we do is a number of songs. So this is our fourth batch. It's I Love You All Over Again, which was a
I
huge,
got it.
yeah, big hit of his in 1991. And so that's kind of the fun Easter egg we do. And then the second product we have is the blue and gold label. That is our single barrel. Those are going to be at least 5 years old. Same mash bill as the 4 year, but it's going to be up another year and a half minimum in the barrel, and then up to 115 proof. So this is going to be more of a neat sipper on an ice cube, great with steaks and cigars, like just a nice, it's got that what I call a Tennessee hug. Some people call it the Kentucky hug.
Yep.
It's got some heat to it, but it's wonderful. And then every year on his birthday, which is October 17th, we roll out a limited edition run of something crazy, a different mash bill never seen before. Last year's was his age statement, so 6.5 years because he turned
Okay.
66. Um, we even did 101.7 proof because his birthday is 10/17. So every year on his birthday we'll come out with that. So that'll come out here again this fall, and we got a couple other fun things planned here for 2025 as well.
That's pretty cool. So which tracks for batches have gone live so far?
So far we've had batch one was Here in the Real World, which was his first number one.
Okay.
Batch two was Wanted. Batch three was Chasing That Neon Rainbow. Batch four was I'd Love You All Over Again. And then for the next batch coming out, we actually let his fans vote on what the batch we're gonna do. And batch five is gonna be Don't Rock the Jukebox, which was one of his first like
Yeah.
major hits. So yeah, that actually goes into production this week. It'll be about 2 months probably until we release it.
Okay.
But we start the production process this week, and that's gonna be a fun one because it's a crowd favorite.
So our members got the "I Love You All Over Again"
Yep.
bottles. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the current one that's available. The juice inside all of them are the same. It's a small batch, 4 year, 91 proof. Just kind of it's your traditional run of the mill bourbon whiskey. But yeah, that's batch four, and we're excited. It's gonna. I don't even know how we're gonna get through 35 batches, but we're gonna figure it out. And obviously, there's some fun stuff in there. People are looking forward to Chattahoochee and Drive, like I mentioned earlier. 5 o'clock somewhere is going to be a fun one. So there's some cool
Yeah.
things in there that we'll get creative with.
On the single barrel, knowing how they can vary, widely, what do you guys aim to keep things within a similar profile, or for that one, are you looking to kind of like find different flavor profiles?
Yeah, so we go all over the map. That's a great question. So for Allen's, so we do one that's called AJ's Pick, and that's ones that he personally
Oh
approves.
wow. Okay.
He likes a sweeter palate, right? He grew up drinking Jack Daniels. It has that sweetness
Sure.
to it. So he likes the sweeter palate. But then Maddie, she just did her first single barrel pick with us, and she goes much more of a robust, flavorful. She tries to pull out the different notes in there. And even we're realizing the stores in Texas versus the stores in Tennessee just all have different preferences. So the single barrels are truly that. They're all over the map. Most often they're notated with a special sticker. So this is the one we did with a group here in Tennessee for Memorial Day. It's got Alan sitting in the inner tube from his Chattahoochee video. And Yeah, so they're all over the map. We don't do song titles on the single barrels just because they're so unique and the palettes are so different.
Yeah. Well, very cool. The gosh, these labels are so cool. I don't know if you got a good shot on it, but the this with the Stetson hat and the like, I got this nice sticker on there as well. It's a nice and shiny. It feels appropriate for a country music star.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have AJ's pick, so that's going to be traditionally a sweeter on the front. It's
Uh,
going to still have that good heat, but yeah, we're super proud of it, man. At the end of the day, like we wanted to do something to extend his legacy, and we're just super proud of our products right now.
do Maddie and Alan, do they go head to head to see which barrels perform better? Do they
I don't think that's a fair fight yet, given the different sizes of their audiences. But yeah, I think eventually they will for sure. And I think it does come with a little southern twang. I see we got a comment down there. It comes with it. It definitely comes from some good times, that's for sure.
That's right. All right, well let's jump in. We've talked a little bit. I've got where are we gonna start? We're gonna start with Silver Guy, right?
Yeah, start with a small batch for you.
All right, I love you all over again. That's what I got. 91 proof.
I'm gonna pour one up here myself.
Only fitting.
Yeah, got to, right?
It's got a nice sweet on the nose for sure.
A lot of people say it
Nice
got that
sweet.
the brown sugar notes.
Yeah, brown sugar for sure. Yeah, a nice light. Get a nice and lighter, clear color.
We make a cocktail called a Chattahoochee lemonade that is Silverbelly, any type of lemonade. I prefer a light lemonade, just a little bit less sugar in it, and peach schnapps, and it is phenomenal. One of those you can sit on the beach all day and just drink it all
That's
day
a
on the beach.
southern drink right there.
Uh
Peach
huh.
schnapps. I
Yep.
haven't heard that phrase in a long time. See, I'm getting brown sugar. I'm getting like a clove or cinnamon spice up on top,
Yep.
which is a nice complement to the sweetness because like it has that sort of like a thin sweetness that come through it, and then it has that fast dissipation that you get from the Tennessee whiskeys.
Absolutely.
It's very like I like to think of this one as like you're right. It's an everyday sipper. Like I feel like it's not hidden hard.
Yep.
You can just kick back.
Yep.
Are you an ice fan or are you a neat fan?
I'm usually a small ice cube, so not even like a big one, just like a barely like a piece of it, just to kind of get that, just to get that air into it or the water into it, just let it release a little bit. Um, Yeah, that's usually my go-to. But yeah, I mean, it's people are like, "What's it like?" Like, and I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, you can get the little hints of brown sugar. It's got a little sweetness, but you can get still. It's just it's an everyday. We also realize like his fan base too is 60% women, right? So there's a lot of it's just a different dynamic that's drinking
Sure.
our whiskey, and we wanted to make something that's just super approachable. Like you could drink this literally any way and it would be it would fit whether it's in a cocktail neat whatever. So that was our main goal with the small batch was just like make something that everyone can drink.
Do you feel like you're getting a higher female purchasing group that's coming through, or is that not necessarily playing out that way?
No, I don't think it's 100% that way yet just because we have different products, but I mean I'd love to. We would love to have that be part of a demographic,
Yeah.
right? It's probably the most powerful purchasing group in America. But I think at the end of the day, like we obviously have a built-in fan base because of how big he is and his status in country music. Um, and we just want to make something that's for people that just love him and love country music and just want a good affordable whiskey that's from Tennessee.
Now let's ask this. Now you went from marketing concerts and tours to marketing beverages. So tell us a little about I mean, that must have been a big ask. I mean, obviously you had the trust of the team, the family to make that move, but that's not a small transition. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned a ton. It's just like any type of entrepreneurship, right? You just learn by failing, and we have failed a ton, and that's what's going to make us successful long term. But at the end of the day, if you understand people and understand supply and demand and what people want and can read those trends,
Sure.
I mean, it's marketing is marketing at the end of the day, and it just happens to be that I get to market a really fun product, and Alan's an amazing guy. But yeah, I mean, it's been a wild ride, but it's been fun. It's gonna be something you look back on, you're like, holy cow, like how did that all happen?
Well, that's pretty exciting. So what? So you said he's retiring after this year. Is that right?
Yeah, so he will retire from touring in 2026. So we just finished our this past tour. We had 10 different shows over the course of about 10 months. We ended in Milwaukee here in mid-May, and so kind of now just regrouping everything and planning for one kind of grand finale show in Nashville in next summer,
Amazing.
early next summer.
So where does the portfolio? You've got the main line, you got the single barrel, you got the birthday. Are you guys gonna hold on to the core for a little bit? Are you gonna expand? What's the growth plan?
Yeah, I think we're gonna hold on to the core for a little bit. We're working on some fun things. We're working. Yeah, there's a couple big projects we have in the works that we can't yet quite talk about, but the goal is eventually is to build Silverbelly into one of Nashville's premier whiskey brands. There's a couple awesome brands that are here in Nashville, but we have the best of all worlds. Nashville is one of the hottest cities in America.
Yeah.
There's 15 million visitors that come here every year. We have Tennessee whiskey, which is one of our national pastimes in this state, and then we have Alan Jackson, who is an icon, right? So you combine those three critical elements, and it tends to have a solid foundation for
Sure.
success.
Do
Yeah.
you guys have a tasting room in Nashville? Or what does your local presence look like?
Let's just say not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably one of the big projects we're working on right now.
Okay.
So yeah, we have we're aiming right now everything for kind of building up for that show next summer. So
Okay.
we have a lot of things that fall in line with that.
How integrated are you? Because having come from that side, right? Having come from the music side and be all together, are you guys working independently, or do you guys all work as one big team together to kind of push the whole legacy forward?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, so the team is very small. There's just a couple people that kind of handle everything, and we
Okay.
all have our respective kind of responsibilities. And there's in the different pots, I guess you could say. But the cool thing is because of its small team, um, we get to work fast, right? We get to work
Yeah.
efficiently, and we can get things done, which I super appreciate as an entrepreneur. Like things can change so fast, especially in this whiskey space. It's a very
Oh yeah.
tumultuous world right now with barrel prices and demand and shelves and everything. So we all work together, but yet we all work independently, and we're all working towards this common goal of creating him a legacy that he
Yeah.
deserves.
I love that. It's nice to see the team work together like that, right? It's not like you're over on an island, you're part of the overall group, and it helps tell the story. And I love, going back to what you said originally about Alan Jackson. He built this piece for the fans, right? He built it as a way to like be real and be grounded, and it makes sense for you guys all to be integrated in such a logistical, just a such a logical way.
Yeah, it's been tremendous how it's all worked together, and yeah, we're excited to see where it goes. We got a lot of work ahead of us, but um, we're really, I think a lot of whiskey brands right now are trying to figure out what the next moves are. We feel like we have a pretty good map of the next moves, and it's more so just execution over the
That's
next couple of
awesome.
years.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's jump into single barrel. I've
okay,
got AJ's pick, right?
yep.
Let me see. Got this cool sticker on there for my bottle. Mine's a 115 proof, 5 years.
So all of our single barrels are 115 proof.
Okay.
Yep. So we really feel that that's a sweet spot from our distillery at that age. I think when you get into those 120s, 125s, I've seen them as high from our distillery as 131. At 5.5 years, it's just a little too hot.
Okay.
I think at 7 years it'll be amazing, and we'll get there with our barrels. But because we're a newer brand and we have younger stuff right now, it'll we have to work that way. So we really feel that 115 is the sweet spot.
I got this one's definitely darker. I got a bit of darker. It's got a lot more even with the Tennessee, a little more viscosity to it. I can tell it's got a little more oomph
Yep.
to it.
Yep. It's got a lot more legs on the side of the glass for
Mhm.
sure.
A lot of that brown sugar is not there for mine. I've got a lot more kind of deep earthiness.
Yep.
I'm even getting some like stone fruit off of this one, a little more fruity. The other one was a little bit more sweet and that kind of clove. This one I have a lot more depth and
Yep.
kind of the fruit. I'm getting
It's
almost like
crazy
a
the different complexities in just 18 months in the barrel.
Mhm.
How it changes the whiskey.
So after spending this much time, what is the best story you can share from life on the road, life in the music industry? You have a fun story you can share?
I think it's just all the crazy people you get to meet and fun people. Like we've had our shows, and obviously I'm very lucky. I get to help run the hospitality backstage, and we get all of our guests, and like just we've had old NASCAR drivers that were friends with Alan back from the '90s were at backstage one time, and I grew up watching NASCAR, and like seeing those guys they were legends to me, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Jesse James, the motorcycle guy,
Oh
was at a
wow.
show. Dude Perfect's been at a show. Just the crazy different. Some of the people from Yellowstone were at a show this year. Like, so you get to see all those different people, and it's fun because everyone is in awe of Alan and his career. And there is some big country music artists out right now, and country's getting as big as ever. But very, very few of them have ever done what he's done.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, he's been on top for 36 years, and that's a long run to be as big as you are, and selling 60 million albums back when you had to go to Target and Walmart and buy physical CDs and
yeah.
records and cassettes.
The
I
hard
mean,
way, like
that-
the hard way, where people had to like go work. They have like, not only do I want that, I'm going to go hunt for the album,
yeah,
fight
yeah,
for it in some cases.
yeah. So he's I mean he started his rise in the early '90s, and you could say by 92, 93, 94 for sure. He was on top of country music. Him and George Strait and a couple others, and they were just
Yeah,
doing their thing, and that lasted for 15 years that way, right?
yeah,
So it's crazy to see it. So when you go to these shows, you see 4-year-olds saying, "I'm a little bitty. This is my first show ever," all the way up to 80-year-olds who are like, "This is my like, thank you for everything. Like
right.
you've gotten me through life, all these hard times." So it's hard to not get emotional. I know he gets emotional. And it's those are the special things, like to have multi generations enjoying the same, and he's bigger than he's ever been. we'll see what happens, but his last show is going to be massive, and it could break records, right? And his streaming numbers are through the roof right now because there's other young artists now bringing '90s country back to prominence,
Sure.
and that's been from my side. That's been the craziest thing to see is how big he is to younger generations. I mean, it's iconic.
Yeah. That's so fun. I I did some music industry work on my own for a while, and it always struck me. People are these icons on stage. They do kind of, they have that presence. But then when you pull the veil back, like they're just normal people. At the end of the day, like, what is your favorite normal guy story about Alan Jackson?
Oh, I mean, he is literally just like the quietest, humblest, normalest guy. Like that's just what he is. Like he's very, he keeps to himself, and I think after years of that, like it's understandable. Like he just likes to live his way. But I would say probably the coolest story I had is we were out at the farm one day and doing some video or photo with his daughter Maddie, getting her ready for her launch as master blender. And he was just out driving around his Jeep looking for coyotes to get off the property. Like,
There you go.
yeah, there's no farmhand doing that. Like that is literally he was just out in his Jeep just driving around like looking for coyotes. Like that
I love
is
that.
that's about as quintessential Alan Jackson story as I have right there. If you ever wonder what it's like.
I had an artist that I worked with at one point who he really loved doing his own laundry. And it's hard to do when you're on the road because you have no idea. But when he's home, he's like, "Dude, what I really like to do is I like, I do laundry." And he's like, he was a kind of a control freak, and to fold laundry. And it's like of all the things to do in your time. He's like, that's the grounding thing for me. It was like to go home, I can do my laundry and put it away and be
Yeah.
part of that. And I was like, that's like a real person thing, like. And so I appreciate those moments where you get to see behind the veil, and you're like, he's hunting coyotes on his farm because like someone's got to do it, and he's going to go handle himself.
Yeah, I think and that road life is crazy. And granted, we don't tour too much because we don't play a ton anymore, and it was
Sure.
only a show a month. But I credit to all those guys that play 10, 20, 30 shows a month. Like that's insane. I've heard of people doing 200, 300 dates a year, and they're young, they have the energy to do that. But that life is not for the faint of heart. The
No,
touring life, it is.
no.
I still haven't been able to master touring with and being part of the whiskey company and not gaining a ton of weight. Like I'm still when I get home, I'm like I look forward to working out, eating healthy, and playing golf. Like those are my things when we're not traveling. What I
Say
love
one
to
of those
do.
hospitality rooms that puts you in a real difficult position.
Yeah, and I literally run those, so that's like that's
Yeah.
that's the life, and it's but it's so blessed at the end of the day. Work for an amazing family, trying to build an amazing brand, and yeah, just it's as a blue collar kid originally from Chicago, it's pretty surreal to be able to say this is what I get to do for a living.
So, Robbie, when you're not drinking Silverbelly and you're going through, what do you love to drink?
Oh man, I would have to say I like the Bland's profile, like not so much Bland's regular, but Bland's Gold. I was lucky enough
Okay.
Friday night to have Bland's Silver, which is a rare
Never
international
had
release.
that. Yeah.
It was incredible. I like that. Lately because we've been experimenting at Silverbelly with some weeded stuff, so I've been drinking a lot of Wellers and just learning the different profiles of weeded bourbons. And then yeah, when nothing makes you want to have a good beer by drinking a ton of bourbon. Like after I finish a bunch of bourbon, I just want to have a good beer. So I just love like a good crisp, like citrusy beer a lot of times. Like that's when I'm
Yeah.
not drinking bourbon, that's usually my go-to is
The beer.
some type of citrusy, just good, fresh, refreshing beer.
I 100% get that. You're like, I need to kind of get what's, I need to kind of get a feel for that. So, I love it. All right. Well, we're coming to the end. I wanted to give you a chance. What's one lasting thing you want to leave for everybody? What's the one thing you want to tell everyone about Silverbelly?
Yeah, I think just because celebrity spirits do have a stigma. I want to make sure people know like this is not a put a name on a brand and it's owned by a big conglomerate. Like this is owned by the family and we do everything internally. We have a small office here in Nashville, Tennessee. Everything's made within 45 minutes. Eventually when we get to the place where we have a tasting tap room, like you'll see family members there and Maddie will be there, his daughter doing our blending and we're trying to build a real company that really does pay homage to his career. And I just, hope everyone when they see it and realize they want to try something different, that they'll give us a try.
Amazing. Robbie, thank you so much for joining today. We really appreciate it. The whiskey is incredible. I love the story. I mean, Alan's very involved, and I cannot give him enough credit for being so involved and wanting to really drive it. Because you're right, there is a stigma, right? Because anyone can slap their name on a label, but we love the artists who are putting the time into it and who want to have that feeling. And I love that his daughter's involved, right? It goes from just being like, oh yeah, we hired somebody to like it's family, it's matters, and it's the legacy for the name and for everybody. So thank you for sharing all the stories and for your time.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you guys. Follow us at Silverbelly Whiskey on all social medias to keep up with us. And thank you for the support. Really appreciate what you guys do, and always here when you need us.
Yeah, for everyone who got the Silver Belly bottles this month, let us know how you feel about them. You all get a form every month, but otherwise, go out and find it in your local store if you can. Are you guys distributed everywhere or limited distribution?
We sell online to 47 states, 13 state traditional distribution.
Yeah,
So yeah, we're available pretty much everywhere.
gotcha. Well, go find it if you can, and if not, subscribe to Pour More. We'll get you a bottle. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate it.